in today, so let's see if it works this time. I really hope that it does. Man, everything that could go wrong today has just gone wrong. Hopefully tomorrow is a better day. Hopefully we get the 7 remake demo or something like that, because we've been hit with an unlucky string today. At least I think we figured out the mic issue. It works now. Cool. Is it good audio? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna exit, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the start. Tell me if it's good. Like if it's. I was never praised either. I was just giving my honest opinion. Crystal clear audio. Perfect. Okay. If it needs to go louder. If I need to go louder, if I need to move my mic closer or further away from my mouth, please let me know. I was just giving my honest opinion. But Torta... Oh no, Baka. She said this after a short amount of silence, and she then immediately regretted it. Torta turned her face away so that way I could not see her. But I could kind of imagine why she was here. Then I understood instinctively that what I thought was very close to the actual truth. Torta was here... even now, because I was. Well, it's about time. She quickly recovered her normal demeanor, and I could do nothing but play along. Oh yeah, might still be a little early for us to go, though. I answered after looking at the clock embedded into the wall of the building in the piazza. It was exactly 2 in the afternoon, so there was 30 minutes left before the venue opened. It would take us around 10 minutes to walk to the concert hall from the piazza. I guess being early is being better than being late. Exactly. So audio's crystal clear once again. My mic sounds good. Don't need to move it. Music sounds as good as usual. We stood up and headed to the concert hall. However, we returned to the piazza to throw away the paper wrappers we were holding. We tried to get away with a simple greeting, but the old man called us out to a smile. Hey! Hi. How were my calzones? They were delicious. Yeah, really good. There was no need to be polite about that. I just gave my honest opinion. Ah, that's good. Alright, both are working. Hopefully it's better than just working, though. If there's any adjustments I need to make, please let me know. He said this happily and brought something strange out from under the stall. Hey, what's that? It's an accordion. Did you know that? No, I knew that. Ah, I'm kidding. There's still some time before the concert, so why don't we sing something? This is the other thing my shop is famous for. Saying this, the old man arranged his fingers on his accordion. We don't have that much time, sir. There's still enough time, though, really. Well, I guess. I just had to go through, like, the encoding thing. It was kind of weird. Chris, we're not in much of a hurry, but how about next time? I like your calzones. We'll be back. I'm glad you like them. Well, we'll make it another time then. I'm sorry. No, don't worry about it. Torta was already starting to walk away. Just as I started to hurry after, the old man whispered, if you let her lead you around like this when you were young, you'll be in trouble later, just like me. Huh? The old man's shoulders shook with his laughter at an old clever quip, but for a slightly different reason I felt shocked. I never thought about how other people actually saw us. At least in his eyes, we looked in a couple. I looked as a couple. I was sure people would say I was worrying too much about it, but I felt like I was betraying Eri, and then I felt bad. Holy shoot! The depression meter. Is something wrong? No. I felt something cold on my face and noticed a single drop of rain that ran down my cheek. I wiped it with my finger, and it was absorbed into my skin right away. I couldn't find a trace of the rain. It's just the rain. You're a dummy. It couldn't be that, you know? Oh god. His schizophrenia is showing. Torta pointed at the canopy and shrugged. It could not be the rain. What about it? Oh, must have been my imagination. I looked up and gazed at the canopy. Just as Torta said, it wasn't leaking. Did you feel rain? Yeah. The roof built to avoid the rain was beautiful and didn't seem possible to be built solely for that function. The City of Rain. Huh? The City of Rain? I was talking to myself. It's called that sometimes, just what are we talking about? It is a city of music now, that's right. Saying this, the old man played the accordion he was still holding. Perhaps it was the pride of people living in the city, but I could tell how skilled he was, and there was no mistaking that I was a resident too. I realized that I still had far to go in my playing and started talking to the smiling old man. Is that okay while you're working? I play every day. Like I said, the shop's famous for it. Well, I must be going soon. Right. Come again. We nodded him and walked away together. We heard the accordion get louder behind us and seemed he really did spend time between customers like that. When we got chatting, it was fun. But isn't it about time for the venue to open? There's 30 minutes left, right? That's true. They won't let us in late, so we have time to get there. Grandma gave us these tickets, so we can't let them go to waste. When we arrived at the front of the hall, there were quite a few people waiting. And then, almost at the same time we arrived, the large doors opened and a line of people streamed inside. As for us, we stopped there for a while and waited until the people thinned down. Do you come here often? Oh god, not that pickup line. Maybe about as much as you, just when I came to listen for my classes. I thought you came here a lot with Nina. No, Grandma comes here by herself all the time. She's a regular. Sometimes they even send a car to come pick her up. Oh wow, I guess you can't keep up with her. There were classes in the first and second years that came here to listen to music. I didn't think anything special at the time, but being there with normal spectators made me realize how important it was. It was a famous place in the city, and it was rumored to be the best facility in the country. There must have been many donations by noble families in the past. You couldn't really say that the decoration of the building itself was very luxurious, but that meant that the simply designed building lost none of its majesty and was filled with a certain kind of dignity. You could say it was a fitting place to receive visitors not only from this country, but from all around the world. I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere there for a moment and I felt out of place, but when I saw other students, I was a little relieved. It looks like there are some other students from the school here. Yeah, but it seems like lots more higher-ups and students have been invited, unlike other concerts. Higher up? Well, the tickets aren't sold normally, so all the students here either know or connected. I suppose it could be called a distinctive feature of the city. The students of Piova, with their student identification, could get into many concerts for free or for half price. Apparently there were grants in the city's coffers, but unfortunately I had never utilized them. That means us, too? It seems Grandma is pretty famous. How many people do you think moved to the city on a whim? And it seems that she goes to almost all the concerts. I didn't know that. Let's go inside. The entrance is clear now. Even though not much time had passed, the hall was already full. The tickets must have been distributed randomly as there were no other students in the seats around us. It was all gentlemen in fine suits and ladies in dresses. I felt it before we went inside, but we stood about among them. I'm just a little nervous. You probably feel out of place here. Does that mean you do too? I don't really feel out of place, no. Saying this, Torta puffed out her chest and pointed to a spot. She pointed to the simply designed Piova Communal School music badge shown to the chest of her uniform. Before I could understand what she said, reality intervened. Excuse me, could I pass you in front? The gentleman's seat was further down the row, so he asked us to let him go past. Go ahead. Thanks. We both pulled back a bit, and the gentleman smiled, bowed his head again, and moved down the row. There was nothing in his behavior or voice to indicate that he was speaking to students. He treated us like we were people that belonged there. Just like the old man selling calzones said, it seemed we were the pride of the city. Perhaps I should have been proud of just that, but I wasn't as a serious student as Torta, so I just decided to think I was the one out of place. See? She whispered with a smile and turned her gaze forward. At the same time, the buzzer signaling the start ran out, and the hall instantly became silent. I quickly looked at the pamphlet they gave me at the entrance. The start of the program was perfect for Natalia, a cappella. It was easy to see that Torta, as a voice student, was the most interested just by glancing over at her. Her eyes were shining, and she was listening intently. I stopped myself from saying anything, and I faced forward too. Just as I was doing this, the choir lined up on stage, and then a hymn in the praise of God suddenly began. The solemn voices reverberated throughout the hall, which had been built to the higher standards of acoustic engineering. The music was much more artistic than what we'd heard. I could feel vibrations viscerally. It was easy to feel God's presence there. When I looked at Torta between the stanzas of the song, she was staring at the stage with tears in her eyes. Even I could take my eyes away to know that when they weren't singing. What did this song mean for Torta, who was a singing major and may sing for a living one day? At some point, I found myself just staring at her profile. In the end, over the entire 3 hours of the concert, we really only spoke 2 or 3 words to each other. Torta hardly moved at all during the 15-minute intermission. It seemed like she was trying to lock all the music she had just heard into her mind. I thought I had been listening seriously too, but the time I realized distracted by Torta next to me may have been longer than I realized. It wasn't something as simple as admiration. I was perplexed at being in such a place at this time with Torta. What was she to me? In the afternoon, the old man talked to us like a couple. We were in a situation where that wouldn't be a strange conclusion to draw, but in truth we were just childhood friends and friends from the same school. However, it wasn't just that. I didn't think our relationship was so shallow as to be summed up like that. I didn't want to be put into words, I just pondered it and pretended not to know the answer. When we went outside, the area was completely dark. I stretched my body, stiff from sitting for a long time, and took a deep breath. That was long. Really? I felt like it was over in no time. Torta answered sort of vacantly, as if still excited. I felt like there was a cotton stuffed in my ears and tried shaking in my head a few times. But it really was good. Yeah, it was, but I wonder if this is the last time we'll come here. I wonder, if we're successful, next time we might be right up on stage. That would be nice. Dang, I've hit a new level, guys. Bots are now coming to my stream. You're talking like if it's someone else's problem. Don't you want to be a professional? Honestly, I don't know, I think. But I thought you were naturally aiming for that, you know, coming to this school. Let's talk about that while we walk. I was sure I wouldn't think of anything to say in the rain. I continued while heading for the roofed-in section of the main road. I thought that at first. Becoming a professional? Yeah, but since I've been at school, my thinking has changed a little. So what are you gonna do? It's kind of embarrassing, but I haven't thought of anything. That's ridiculous. I know, but I can't imagine it. Me becoming a pro and performing on a stage like that. Yeah, it's a bot. That's why I'm asking what you're gonna do. Watch, Mr. Bot here is going to tell me too that he's going to do something for me. I don't know that either. I'm just concerned with the graduation recital now. Can you just give me that? You'll finally think about that when it's over? That's my plan. Well, alright then. Sounding exasperated as she said this, Torta laughed lightly again, forgiving me. Are you going to move right into being a professional then, Torta? Huh. It's a... Oh! Secret? We have secret. Name drop. Game over. Roll the creds. What's that about? I'll tell you when you decide and tell me. That's mean. I don't mean to be. I was just trying to get you to think about it even a little. Am I that unreliable? Yeah, you're that unreliable. Wow. Well, if you haven't decided when the time comes, I'll think with you. I'll help you however I can. Yeah, thanks. However I can. She repeated her final words as she hadn't heard my answer. Was it good for me to let Torta spoil me? If the path I chose wasn't the one that she was hoping for, would I just hurt her in the end? I'm home. Excuse me. As soon as I entered the room, I could smell delicious food. Is the audio still good, guys? Just want to make sure. Nina seemed to be in the kitchen at the moment, and it seemed she had gone all out, so today would be another feast. You're having dinner before you go, right? Yeah, that's the plan. Today's meat. Today's meal will be splendid as yesterday's. Makes me worry about my weight. It's Natale. It can't be helped. As for myself, I had always spent time with Dairy since coming here, so I never ate too much. But when I lived at home, every evening of Natale meant a mountain of food. It made me feel like I ate enough for the entire year in a day. Okay, I'll go help a little. Before even that, Torta ran upstairs like she remembered something and came down after changing into her everyday clothes. She went straight into the kitchen after. Nina must not have realized we were back, or maybe she was focusing on cooking, and so there was no signs of her coming out of the kitchen. I knew she just refused my help, so I just waited. It would have been a good time to talk to Forney, but I couldn't see her on the table. Forney? I called out to her in a whisper, but she showed no signs of appearing. Right at that moment, just as I strained my ears, I heard Forney singing. It came from the kitchen, where Nina and Torta were as well. What's she doing? They shouldn't be able to hear her, so she's probably bored. If I went into the kitchen now, it would probably seem strange, though. There was still time, and Forney had the good sense to come back to me before I left. Just as I was passing time, Torta came out of the kitchen carrying a plate. Okay, be careful. At the same time, Torta set down the big, heavy-looking plate. Forney flapped her wings and ascended from her soldier to the table. Huh? Is something wrong? No, there's a bug or something. My neck just tickled all of a sudden. A bug? That's mean. I couldn't see anything. Maybe it was just your hair? Holding in my laughter, I answered incredulously. Well, it must have been my imagination. Okay, there's a lot more, so I'll be back. Thanks. Torta returned to the kitchen with a slight look over her face. Calling me a bug is mean. What a jerk. Then, try hard to not get caught. But walking would have been such a pain. You should have come to get me, Chris. So you're saying I should have gone to the kitchen? You know they throw me out, right? How'd you get in here anyway? I walked. So you could have just walked back, right? Oh, she's back. At Forney's warning, I quickly shut my mouth. Even so, Forney didn't seem to be in that bad of a mood, even though I left her alone all day. Singing for no one like that must have meant just being next to Nina made her happy. I decided to stop any further aimless conversation and waited in my chair for food to come out. The dinner table was even fuller than the day before, with things like chicken roasted with herbs and lasagnas. I realized how comfortable I was with this irregular Natale dinner. I felt at ease and I was disgusted with myself for it. Maybe I would have to repeat this over and over until the graduation recital. Dinner time passed peacefully nonetheless. Well, we practice every day starting tomorrow. Torta smiled, spoiling the fun as I was leaving. I was full with delicious food, and just as I was leaving to go home in a good mood, she does that. Okay. I answered with my hand on the door. The day was decided, now the only problem was time. From 10's right, okay? Or from 10 is okay, right? Same as when school would start. It felt more like she was reminding me of the times she decided on rather than asking me the actual question. Certainly, it was the same time as my private lessons for a third-year student, but 30 minutes seemed too fast for Torta to get ready. And during our winter break, when we would be able to use our time freely, we'd be practicing every day from the morning. Oh, let's make it at your apartment, Chris, not the school. And now Forney was selfish too. You won't say no to that, right? I'm saying tell that to Torta. Do it quick. Forney said this petulantly, pulling on my ear. If we didn't go back to the school, I wouldn't have to wear my uniform and I could sleep longer. I suppose that would be okay. Alright, is my apartment okay instead of the school tomorrow? You want to sleep as long as possible, that's fine. Why don't you come here sometimes, right, Grandma? Oh, right, I could feed you dinner at the very least. No, I don't want to put you out. Don't you worry about that. Or, do you not want to come here? Chris, how could you be so mean? Right, you could come here at halftime, right? You'll bring me with you, of course. With 3 women complaining to me, I couldn't refuse. Okay, I'll be glad to come. Good. Children should eat as much as they want. Hey, that wasn't what I meant. It's decided then. I don't like putting on my uniform either, so it's perfect. Yay, now I won't be bored. For now, your place at 10 then, okay? Alright. Forney had thought she'd been bored during our practices, but even after we got outside, she seemed very happy. It's gonna be rough from tomorrow. Like it's anything to do with you. I thought I'd be even more bored this year. That or I'm just really happy. But that's how I do it when I'm at school. Vacation is vacation. Also, it's better than just sleeping. Well, I admit that much. Even though winter vacation was starting tomorrow, it would be the same as always. The school shouldn't be open on New Year's Day or the day after, so maybe it would be better to practice properly at the school? Hey, let's go home while you're thinking. Yeah, I'm used to being employed as your legs. That again. I should be able to go out sometimes. Sometimes. I just brought you out yesterday. But it's only a couple of times a year. I've only been to Torta's house 3 times in 3 years. What? I looked at Forney still in good spirits, and I started to feel uneasy that I, myself, had been making her feel lonely. If it made her that happy, I should probably have brought her out more. She didn't say she ever wanted to go out, but maybe she was being polite that way. She was being selfish like that, but at the end I didn't really mind. Though, in the end, I couldn't say that Forney hadn't been selfish. We arrived home and my hand stopped as it reached for the towel. Oh, right. Huh? The towel, I'll go get it myself. Yeah, I always get you the towel. You could at least do it yourself. I know, but I was thinking it really is always there. I don't know what you'll do when I'm not around. I thought about that for a moment and I became at a loss for words. Oh, why are you worrying about it? It's okay. Yeah. When I moved out of this apartment, I wouldn't come back to visit Forney. I had my daily work. Recently in particular, I was busy practicing for the graduation recital, so I hadn't had much time to think about that. It was definitely something important I could not forget. But... Hey, I said don't think about it. I told you it's fine. What's fine? You don't have to think about it. Forney said this and glided to the center of the room to end the conversation. Then she stood where the towels were and beckoned me with a wave. Hey, you're gonna catch a cold if you're being all wet. I know. To avoid any further talk on the topic, I wiped my hair with the towel like always. I opened the letter I grabbed from the mailbox and sat in the chair. Hey, put me up high. Oh, window? On the table. Why the table? Don't worry, just go. We'd both be in trouble when the other was gone. In a different way than Ari and Torta, Forney and I needed each other. It may have been up to Forney how long the relationship would last. If Forney didn't say anything, I was sure I'd ask her coming with me in the end. Forney was the one who would choose which way things would go after that. Is smiling while you ignore me a kind of teasing? Oh, sorry. I quickly picked her up and put her on the table. Oh, but don't look at the letter. I know. I'll just watch you read it. I don't know if I like that either. Just be reasonable. I always watch you anyway. Oh, whatever. Fine. There you go. Acceptance is key. Forney spread her wings out on the table, appearing to enjoy herself. I convinced myself that she always watched me anyway, and I opened the letter. How are you, Chris? And how is the rain? The weather here is nice as always. Even if it's very far away, it's strange that it's always raining there. Is it not far away or very far away? Very far away. Today is Natale. Did you go offer prayers at the church like you should? I was with you last year, but I was worried since I couldn't go this year. You sort of said Torta might be your partner in your last letter, but if she is, you probably went with her, right? I'd worry if it was just you, Chris, but I'm relieved that Torta's there too. This will be my last letter of the year. In any case, next year's letter will be soon. Maybe you'll have decided on Torta as your partner by then. If it's you and Torta, Chris, I'm sure it's fine. I'm saying that having heard both of you play for a long time, so I'm certain in both of your abilities. You may write something mean since it's about you, so let me write this first. I've gotten better at singing, and I know music now. So, go to the recital with confidence. I can't go to hear you, but I always imagine your sound, the sound of your fortele, and the sound of you two together. Love, Arietta. She could always imagine me, huh? Could I imagine Ari at any time? I hadn't forgotten her, had I? No, she's your fairy. While spending time with Torta, I realized we were enjoying our symbol. Why so serious? Why so serious? Serious? Did she write something that's bothering you? Something that's bothering me? Nah, I couldn't say that. It was a single, innocuous sentence. She said she can imagine me at any time. That's embarrassing. I don't see a reason to make that face, though. I was just wondering if I could imagine Ari at any time. Don't you think about her? Of course, but don't you think about Torta? That too, and while I play the fortele. Torta and the fortele are the same problem in the end, right? She's your partner, so you have to think about that. But also, she said any time, but it isn't really all the time. I'm sure Ari is focused when she's baking bread and not thinking of anything else, right? Well, that's true. That's what I mean. I guess in the end we're just talking about your love life. No, we're not. I wonder. Forney snickered and taunted me about Ari again, but I still couldn't think of it optimistically. What about when I thought of Torta, when nothing else was happening? What about the fact that I enjoyed spending time with Torta, at times that had nothing to do with music? Alright, hurry up and write your reply. Torta said you have practice every morning starting tomorrow. Yeah. Either she didn't understand anything or once said it, even though she did understand. Either way, Forney carelessly put a stop to my thoughts. Maybe it was best for me to put some more distance between Torta and I, just like I had. For now, let's do our ensemble when I'm done. Oh, is that okay? I haven't touched my instrument at all today. Aren't you tired, though? Who do you think I am? I'm always ready to sing. When I'm finished writing my reply, we will. Then hurry up. Yeah. I felt like I was finally at my normal self again. Even so, I knew that would change when tomorrow came. I had to distance myself from Torta again. I was getting too close. I didn't want to hurt her if I could help it. I didn't want anything to change if I could help it. Going over all these selfish things in my head, I thought in the end it would be best to just enjoy this time I had. 15 minutes past 9 in the morning. After I woke up, got dressed, and posted my letter, it was nearly time for my appointment with Torta. She was meticulous about time, so there'd probably be a knock on my door. And including the trip to the mailbox, I had spent more time than I would if I had gone to school. The letter was only on Mondays, but I knew things wouldn't change much for the rest of the week anyways. I saved the time putting on the uniform and walking to the school, which came up about half an hour. If I could just sleep in without caring about the clock once a week or so. Any time now. Huh? Oh, yeah. Forney must have known what was going on and she didn't mention any names. There we go. It's open. I raised my voice so I could be heard through the door. How careless. I went to post a letter now and I left it unlocked. That is all. Oh, I see. I left a towel by the door too. Got it, thanks. After coming back from the mailbox, I just posted out for Torta. Torta picked up the towel and barely dried her hair by the room. Alright, shall we? You look very pleased. It's because you look so put off. I'm kidding. I get to sing songs like this the whole day, right? Of course I'm happy. I see. You seem like to dislike practice, but don't you love to play the Fortelli, at least when we were younger? Look, I still like playing the Fortelli, it's just practice is, you know, practice. It feels like I'm being forced to. It seems you won't unless you're forced to, however. But in the process, I've started to hate practicing. Wow, that's complicated. Yeah, whatever, let's begin. Okay, by the way, I'll let you take a break in the afternoon, don't worry. How about we take breaks if we perform well? No way. I have to ask, why are you always trying to take it easy? That's not it either. We don't want to burn ourselves out, that's all I'm saying. If you're that confident about your Fortelli, then don't mind. When you put it that way. Right, the recital's less than a month away, so the truth is, no matter how much we practice, it's never going to be enough. Yeah, of course, Chris. As you say, burnout's a bad thing, I'll handle that part. All you have to do is follow my lead. Wow, she's reliable. Too reliable. How great for you, Chris. Plus, I quite enjoy listening to your practice, so it's great for me too. I didn't ask for Forney's opinion. Alright, let us begin. And you, please start asking people for their opinions. Alright. Also not in the mood to perform this song, so we skip it. She sighed deeply and looked at me without saying anything. That didn't go so well, huh? Yeah, the sound was off. The sound was good, but something was off. I'm sorry. That's okay, as long as the recital goes well. She was trying to encourage me, but those words spoke volumes about how the last performance went. Normally, somehow or other, once we started practicing, it wouldn't seem that bad at all. Also, once the music started, my pre-practice lethargy wouldn't bother me, but today I wasn't feeling it. I was afraid of feeling the enjoyment itself. I felt as if I was listening with a cold stare to our performance from a distance. I was certain that my thoughts from yesterday were behind this. I felt that if I did not find joy in my music, I'd lose something important. And I also felt that, by finding that joy, I would lose something equally important to that. Look, I didn't say it was terrible, but what matters now is focusing on practice. You're right. Then let's go again. Alright. I put my hands on the keys, looked at her, and started playing the Fortelli. Both of us started to feel like we practiced enough throughout the day. Torta sat down and swiveled my chair around and we were ready to stop. Alright, that's enough for today. Yeah, good job. For some reason, Forney had quietly listened to us practice today too. She'd sung a lot yesterday, of course that wasn't why, she just was observing us and the subtle differences. She kept comparing me to Torta, sometimes with a look, sometimes looking bored. Forney had her own take on the situation, it seemed. She was sitting on her desk, her legs dangling freely as she watched us. What are you doing for dinner? I'll just throw something together. Oh, I see. Well, Grandma said this morning that you could come over. Really? But I don't want to impose. She's saying that it's okay, don't you get it? I get it, but the person being invited is always going to feel some sort of hesitation, no matter what they're told. Are you saying you feel hesitant around me? That's just an example. Even if someone told you not to worry about something, I'm pretty sure you'd still worry, right? Well, I get what you're saying. Whatever. Anyway, you should head home early. Nina might be waiting for you. But you said that you didn't know what you were doing for dinner. Maybe you could let her know earlier next time. Okay. Shall we eat together? If I'd asked Torta, she'd say yes. And since I also knew that she was waiting for me to ask, that was precisely why I feigned ignorance, and deciding that she had to eat at home suggested that she head back. Fueni was present at the time, and she may have helped me, in fact. Fueni was a strong reminder of Aries' existence, and her being there gave me the strength to will to say what I had to. The look of sadness came over Torta's face for just a moment, and then it vanished. I'll be off then. Practice at my house tomorrow? Sure. Then how about alternate days? There's only a week left till the start of school, though. That's good with me. It's settled then. 10 o'clock. My house. Yeah, it's fine, even if we start a little later than we do at school. Excellent. I'll see you tomorrow, then. The sky is... Oh, from the window, it doesn't look that dark. It's okay. I could walk home by my... It looks pretty dark. I see. The day before Natalia had followed her into the city because it was dangerous at night. Even though it was still bright out, will it be okay for me to walk her home? I'm sure anyone would have found that question ridiculous. Sorry. For what? Nothing. Okay, see you tomorrow. Things will get ugly if you're late. Okay, see you tomorrow. Torta waved, smiled, and closed the door. It seemed louder than usual, but maybe I was imagining it. You'll be eating today, won't you? Torta says you have the day off tomorrow. Oh, yeah, that's right. Since that day, I declined to eat at her house twice in a row. Tiredness had been my excuse. There was no way I can give that a reason a third time. And it seemed like I had the day off tomorrow. New Year's. I hadn't heard about it directly, but when I looked past Nina at Torta, she smiled and nodded. At this point, there was no way I could have refused. I'd be delighted to. When Nina heard that, she smiled cheerfully and went inside to prepare for dinner. While I packed up my Fortelli, I spoke to Torta. So we can rest tomorrow? I guess, but anyway, you don't plan on going out, do you? Hey, rude. What, are you going somewhere? Forney, who had been on the desk eating along until then, sounded confused. Oh, you do have plans. No. Huh? I may not have plans, but that was uncalled for. Ah, whatever. So you're not going anywhere, right? It's a hard-earned day off, so I'll be sleeping soundly, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't suggest anything either. I felt a little bad saying it, but I made it sound like a joke so it didn't come across mean. I wasn't going to. Anyway, as long as you're home. What do you mean? Nothing. Even if there's no practice, you'd at least play the Fortelli at home. Tomorrow's Sunday. You don't have to worry about that. I hope so. Forni had accompanied our practice every day as of late, so I didn't think I thought I'd rest tomorrow, but that probably wouldn't happen. Well, performing with Forni was kind of a habit, so it was now enjoyable. Anyway, get lots of rest tomorrow. We'll resume practice the day after. After the dinner that Nina prepared, I went home. Every day this week had been the same, and I was getting quite tired. For a third-year student facing his graduation recital, one day of rest a week is probably not enough. My music teacher, or someone I had once said that I put too much of myself into my Fortelli, that's when I got tired. Well, I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. My hair is still partly wet. I quickly changed clothes and collapsed into my bed. Man, what a slacker. Just 1 week of practice and this is what happens. Ah, you wouldn't understand. You never get tired. How rude. Do you? No. Well, anyway, Torta seemed perfectly okay, so for a boy like you to cry about being tired is pathetic. Oh, he's quirky. I'm not like other boys. Whatever. Good night. Good night. She smiled with a mixed disapproval of kindness. I was reminded of someone, but I was already half asleep and that thought didn't go any further as my eyes closed. Huh? My eyes were still closed when my ears perked up. That was a knock. I heard it loud and clear this time. I opened my eyes and looked around. You're awake? Someone's knocking. As if she just appeared, Fanny was looking at the door with the desk, at the desk with a surprised look. What time is it? 8. Who? Wait a minute, coming. I rushed to the door. Okay. This is, interesting. Morning. What's wrong? You look... Arietta? Did you forget me because we haven't seen each other for a year? Arietta. I'm here. I just really wanted to see you. Really? What do you mean, really? I wouldn't be here otherwise. She smiled and laughed out loud. I wasn't able to come for Christmas, so I'm here now. Work starts the day after tomorrow, so I'll be back by tomorrow morning. Come in. You must be cold. Thank you. I realized I was getting anxious about this unexpected visit. To calm myself, I asked Ari to come in, and then I was able to process the situation. I took the small bag that she was carrying. It contained a day worth of clothes. It wasn't heavy, but it seemed a little bulkier. I put it down in the corner of the room and then spoke to Arietta. I'll get you a drink. Just take a seat. Okay. Sorry to surprise you. Oh, this is sudden. It's fine. I don't mind, really. Forni looked at Ari to see as if she was some rarity and then happily stayed by her hand. Oh, I keep misclicking. I dragged out the espresso machine and put some water to boil. Along with the water, I put up into the pot, and I waited. In the meantime, I returned to the room and sat down facing Ari in order to hear her story. You were able to take time off from the bakery? After the last day of work last year, on the 31st, I took the overnight train. Going anywhere. The store opens again on the 3rd, so that's why I have to be back tomorrow. Sounds tiring. I'm sorry. No, I'm glad, actually. Thanks. But you could have told me. I know you're busy. I wrote Torta a short letter. I did say I'd be here for New Year's. Oh, so she knew. Come to think of it, she'd asked me several times about my plans for today. And then there was a sudden notice that there would be no practice today and asking me to play the Fortelli at home. Thinking back, I guess it was strange. Then you could have sent me a letter too. But I wanted to surprise you. Was that a bad idea? I was really surprised, but no, it's not a bad idea at all. Ari giggled like a little girl, and then, as if remembering something, she slapped her knee. Oh, Happy New Year! Happy New Year to you too. Are you still in shock? Yes. Sorry, this is a little late, but do you have any plans for today? No, but even if I did, you'd come first. Thank you. No more sorry or thanks. I'm just glad you're here. I see. I heard the water boil behind me, so I went back. I made a cafe latte the same way I did for Torta, and while in the kitchen I asked Ari a serious question. Hungry? No, I had bread on the train. Then this would be enough. With the 2 cups in my hands, I came back to my seat. Here you go. Thanks. I mean, you're okay with this, right? Yeah, you took the same train as always. Did you sleep well? I'm used to it by now, so I'm full of energy for today. That's good, except that almost all the stores are closed for New Year's. That's fine. At least I could spend time with you. Oh, hey, you're blushing. I was about to tell Forney off, but I was sure she was right. My face was turning red. I'd missed Ari's voice, Ari's smile, and they were so comforting I almost teared up. But really, this was sudden. I wasn't able to see you on Natale, and then your letter came. I just couldn't control myself. So I wrote a short one to Torta. Oh, right. Suddenly, Ari retrieved her bag from a corner of the room and took something out. Here. In her bag to the familiar envelope in the kind of paper bag. A letter? I wrote it at the station while waiting for the train. No, don't read it yet. It's embarrassing. Just wait till I leave. Oh, no problem. And this is some of the bread I made. Ever since I started working there, you haven't had any, right? Yeah, though I ate it all the time before I came here. 3 years have passed. They're more delicious now. I can guarantee it. I can't wait to try. They'll last for a few days, so eat them as you like. I left so suddenly I couldn't bring that many with me, though. Don't worry, they're quite large. Even if I slice them, it'd take me 3 days to finish. They're good for a month or so, even if you don't put them in the fridge. Really? There's a yeast known as panettone, and the breads made with it last a really long time. It's a specialty. Wow, no wonder the bakery's famous. It's amazing, isn't it? I haven't eaten anything this morning, so maybe I'll have some right now. You just woke up, no? It's still early. You can tell, huh? Yeah, I woke up when you knocked on the door. Well, now that it's open, could I take a quick shower? Sure, I'll just rest here for a bit. Thanks. After that, we can talk about what to do. Okay. As I said that, I was sure that Ari would find something to do, so I tried to get her rest. Getting into the shower, I started to take off my shirt. Don't look this way. Don't look at me. She began to laugh. Oh, white screen. Standing under the hot water, I felt the remnants of sleep wash away. I still felt, oh, his depression meter went down. I still felt that I hadn't slept enough, but more than that, I suddenly felt happy. In a short time, many things had happened. Torta included, and to be honest, there were times when my feelings seemed to waver. But being together like this, it truly felt like I was Ari I loved in the end, after all. Even if it only came once a year. What? I thought I heard movement outside, but it was drowned out by the shower. I couldn't tell if it happened. Thinking it was nothing, I slipped into the shower again. While still wet, I opened the bathroom door and peeked out. I had completely forgotten to lay out a towel. I couldn't possibly ask Bonnie for help, so I just had to sneak out while Ari was looking away, but when I looked around the room, Ari was gone. Seated on the desk, Bonnie noticed me and plodded down. I saw a folded towel by my feet and I knew Ari put it there. Perhaps that was the sound I'd heard? And she stepped out. Now's your chance to get dressed. I put on the same clothes from before. They were still fresh. I quickly put on my clothes and then turned to Forney. Where'd she go? I went to put my damp towel in the laundry basket, but it wasn't in its usual place. I think she went to go do your laundry. Huh? She looked really happy, too. I did my laundry twice a week, but built for students, my room didn't have the space for a washing machine or even a dryer. Instead, there was a communal washing machine and dryer at the end of the hallway. I usually did it on Saturday or Sunday, but I had practice yesterday, so there must have been a lot of clothes. Maybe I should go after her. Nah, if she's happy doing it, why would you? I didn't have any time to think about it as I heard the front door open. Oh, you're done. That was fast. Yeah, but I didn't tell you to do anything. You just had to wait here. You must be tired. Your laundry basket was full. I was going to do it today. It's fine. I like doing laundry. It's a communal space. What if we run into someone? I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're together. That's right. Oh, but if I was mistaken for Torta, perhaps there'd be strange rumors? That might happen, but nobody here knows about Torta, so I don't think it's a problem. But they might be surprised to see an unfamiliar girl doing laundry in the common area. There are only male students who live here, you see. So, you haven't told anyone about me? That's right. Well, aside from Asano. What about the other students? It's not something I'd announce to the world. Besides, you're not close to any of them, huh? Ari got right to the heart of it. You could say that. Torta and Asano are still your only friends, huh? Yeah, but that's not that I mind. Uh-huh. Anyway, are you really not tired at all? I'm okay. Want to go out? Yeah, let's go to church. Mass. It's going to be on today. It doesn't have to be formal. I just want to drop by and take a look. Okay, that's good. Then why don't you eat some bread first? The laundry should be done soon. I'll put it in the dryer and we'll head out. Got it. As I sat down, I caught Forney's eye. It's okay. Go out by yourself. She was teasing me and she sized us both up. I mouthed the word thank you. Are you cold? A little, but I'm good. Wow, the rain's light today. Instead of bouncing off the stone pavement, it seemed to be sunk into the ground. Ever since Natale 2 years ago, Ari had walked around the city without an umbrella. I'd said countless times in my letters that that was the norm, and Ari seemed to be following suit of it. The rain really does never stop, huh? No. How does it feel? Well, at first I thought it was annoying, but I got used to it somehow. When it's like this, I sometimes even forget it's raining. Wow, that's bizarre, I guess. There was slightly more trash in the streets and it was a lot quieter. Last night there'd been crowds of young people partying until late to welcome New Year, but it wasn't quite my scene. Asuna wasn't the type to join in those crowds either, so it would just been like any other holiday. In fact, the shops were all closed until the 3rd, so I had to brave the crowds for some year-end shopping. What about practice for today? Oh, graduation recital? Yeah. Torta isn't around, and there's no point for me to practice alone, so I was going to take the day off. Why? I want to hear you play. Besides, I heard that each day without practice sets you back to 3 days. Ah, you heard that from Torta. Anyways, you want to hear me practice? Should I go get Torta? No. Can't you play by yourself? Yeah, because you're Torta. Then that's great. I want it to just be us today. Okay, good. She beamed with delight. It doesn't look like masses today. That was Ari's guess when looking at the church. But it does look open. The father must be really busy for here, Natale, New Year's. By the way, weren't you here with Torta and Natale? Yeah, I actually wanted to come by myself, though. No, that's not what I meant. I guess that doesn't matter. Yeah. There was an awkward pause between us, to which I tried to dispel by raising my voice. Want to go inside? Mass hasn't started yet. Yeah, let's pray. Okay. The entrance to the church was open as always. The Mass today was starting around 10, and the church was open up all the way until then. The faithful were already inside, and the family went in as if we were talking. Walking slightly behind Ari, I went inside. It's less crowded this time, isn't it? There were fewer people than expected, and the church felt empty. Aside from the family we just saw, there were other people too. Compared to the size of the building, this group of 30 or so was extremely small. There was no hymns, and the father was just standing in front, instead of giving blessings. Inside the church, everyone had their eyes closed in prayer. Well, then let's pray too, for a start. For a start. You know that's why we're here. Uh-huh. Well, you were just here for Christmas, I guess. Arietta laughed and closed her eyes. I did the same. I certainly had a lot to think about, or maybe it just seemed that way. Spending time with Ari like this being enough to hear her breathe, I almost felt at strangely peace. I was thinking about Ari rather than praying, and when I heard someone giggling behind me, I opened my eyes. What's up? That's what I want to know. You're supposed to be praying, but you look so cheerful. Cheerful? Grinning. I guess that's the best description. I suddenly remembered something Forney told me. Had I really made my face without knowing it? Do you want us to head out? Apparently, she wasn't that interested to begin with why I made that face. With her usual placid smile, Ari started walking out of the church. I had to rush a little to catch up to her. I remembered having to rush after Torta as well. Before, Arietta used to be someone who'd walk behind me. People who didn't know her probably found her to be reticent, and perhaps even gloomy. Of course, Torta and I knew she wasn't. In line with her image, she was in fact reserved and soft-spoken, but she definitely had a mind of her own. She didn't insist on things or force her views on others. If she had a better idea or something was unacceptable, she'd tell me. Torta was direct by nature. She was always pulling Ari and I forward, whereas Ari would say shocking truths from time to time and lead Torta and I in the right direction without her realizing it. That's how I differentiated them, but things had changed after we started living our separate lives far apart, or so Torta claimed. Hey, you're looking troubled. Something on your mind? Kind of. Must be about music, right? Why? Because the graduation recital's coming up soon. Were you thinking of something else? No, you're right, more or less. Ari and Torta would be the most accurate answer, but she wasn't wrong. Anyway, it was quite a meaningless thought, so I let it slide. Where to next? All the shops are closed, though, aren't they? Right. Though if we went to the piazza, we might find something. I'm fine with not going anywhere else. How about going back to your room? Sure, as long as you want to. Then let's chat while we walk. I thought she was getting tired, but Arietta managed a cheerful laugh. There was a lightness in her step as she walked ahead of me. Wait up. Ari turned around and I took hold of her hand. Oh shoot, let's walk side by side, okay. That's how we walked throughout the city, chatting about nothing at all. The next thing I knew, it was nearly noon. By the way, are you hungry yet? I'm ready to eat. Well, this restaurant looks like it's open. We could see from where we were this open-air restaurant was even open during the holidays. Normally I'd avoid it because of the price, but surely I can make an exception today. Hey, we can just go back home and eat. I guess you're right. You want to pick up the pace then? Hey, so you're the one who's hungry. I just made that bread for you. You should have had more. You said it'd last, so I wanted to spread out my enjoyment. The bread was really delicious, but I'd feel embarrassed about wolfing it down in front of Ari, so I didn't eat much. Of course, I actually did want to spread my enjoyment out of it too. Don't forget, I woke up earlier than usual too. On days when I don't have classes, I can last until the afternoon. You know, it's better to eat 3 meals a day. I don't have that much time in the morning. I know. What if we got Torta to wake you up, the way I woke you up when we were younger? Maybe not. Unlike you, I think Torta's methods would be violent. The truth was, I had Forney to help me when I couldn't get out of bed. That's mean. I'm gonna tell you said that. It was a joke. Plus, I'm almost never late for class. When we were kids, you'd used to be just in time. I guess things don't change. Not that easily. But you're not actually that much of a slacker, strangely enough. Is that a compliment? As intended. It didn't sound like one, but she smiled as she said it. It was almost noon and there was quite a lot of people in the piazza between the old and new districts. The stores were closed, however, so it was groups of young people being rowdy. We had no interest in joining them, so we walked on by, looking at them as if they were someone else's business. Oh, it's a student from before. Perhaps I wasn't used to people talking to me, but I only looked in the direction of that voice after Ari pulled the hem of my shirt. Huh? Oh, hey. It was the old man with the calzone stall from Natale. Another date today. No. Today's was their true date. Oh, you two look like you get along. Chris. I was here with Torta on Christmas. In last week's letter I told her about spending Natale with Torta, but I didn't mention this guy. Huh? Last time I was here with her twin sister. This one's my actual girlfriend. I decided that Ari would be more at ease if I just set the record straight, which is what I ended up doing. Who'd have thought? They look just alike. Well, that goes without saying. They are twins. Want something to eat? This lady here hasn't had one of my calzones yet, right? Ari? I'm okay with anything. I see. In that case, let's eat here. Cooking will be a hassle and it was tasty last time. Okay. Things are different when you're an actual couple, huh? Huh? Sorry about last time. You'll be fine, so keep it up. 2 calzones then? Yeah, sure. Was he referring to his comments about being obedient? Here you go. Thank you. From behind me, Ari's voice sounded absent. Let's sit down and eat over there. Okay. We bought drinks from somewhere else and sat down on the fountain's edge. Going to church, sitting by the fountain, chatting. It was just like Natale over again, which was strange. I spent Natale with Torta instead of Ari, and now I wish I was with Ari for New Year's, not by myself as I usually was. To the old man, it probably looked like I was almost doing the same things with 2 people who looked the exact same. How is it? It's really good. She was eating it carefully so the tomato sauce wouldn't drip. That reminded me of the differences between them. But then again, it wasn't as if the other one had really enjoyed her meal here. Ari would get mad if she found out, so I quickly banished that memory and turned to her. What should we do now? I want to hear you play, so let's go home? That is probably the only thing left to do. You don't want to? I do. It's been a long time. Yes, I haven't heard you play in forever. Ari sounded pleased. To this point, I had no other choice. Alright. Okay, I'll finish this quickly. With a smile, she inhaled the last mouthful. I took the paper wrapping as we walked past the stall. Thank you again. It was delicious. We thanked the old man and I threw the waste paper in the trash can. Come back any time, though if you stayed a little while you could hear me play the accordion. We'll have to do that again sometime. Thank you very much. Take care. With that, the robust old man turned to his calzones. Looking around, it seemed that the business was pretty good. Perhaps a little slower, though, today than Natale. Whether it was because everywhere was closed or he knew how to get customers, who knew. I wanted to come again if I had the chance, but it'd probably be with someone other than Arietta. I quickly put that thought aside and resolved to forget all about the calzone stall. I'm home. Me too. Ah, wait here. I went to go get 2 towels as if I'd forgotten to lay them out earlier. Something that it'd be inconvenient for towels to magically appear while we were out, Forney hadn't done so. The rain wasn't heavy, but we'd walked quite a bit, and even our hair was wet. Ari was wearing her hair down, which made it even worse. I should have laid them out before we left, but I was used to Forney doing to me, so I forgot. Here you go. I dried my hair and shook off the raindrops from my body, and I went inside. Behind me, she was doing the same. It was a pain, but no one ever uses umbrellas, so it had to be done. Alright, Fratelli? Yes, please. How about the song for your recital? You said you wanted to hear your favorites. I thought it'd be nice to hear what you'll perform with Torta. But there's a vocal part. So you can't play it? No, I can, but I just don't think it'd be that interesting. Welcome back. That was fast. Forney appeared, looking amused. What's the matter? Embarrassed? Or is it because you're always practicing it with her sister? That part was sure of it. I couldn't talk back to Forney, so I tapped lightly on her forehead. Hey! She wasn't going to give up that easily. What was that for? Hit the nail on the head, didn't I? Yeah. Huh? Huh? Nothing. I didn't mean to say it out loud. With my eyes, I apologized to Forney. Sorry. Forney fell silent, then whispered. I'm sorry too. I seem to be in the way. I'll disappear. Before I could say anything, she did. Huh? So what's the deal? Anything you want. Given the situation, there's no way I'd be able to talk to Forney now. Perhaps she'd appear again at night. It wouldn't be too late to say a proper apology then. You want to hear the graduation recital? If you don't want to, then that's fine too. Like I said, that's not the issue. The parts where Torta sings the melody, they might seem a little bit empty. Oh, I don't mind. Perhaps you want to try singing it? Excuse me. Just kidding. Hey, you don't have to roll it out. Well then, shall we practice? We might get somewhere in a couple of hours. No, we won't, and you know that best of all. But it's been 3 years. You still practice. You have a piano. Are you just making fun of me? Not at all. It's just what? I was thinking, have you gotten better at singing? In particular, Team Torta and Ari were more alike. Okay, but I'm sorry to disappoint. I've been busy, so I haven't practiced too much. Do you plan to? I'd only get laughed at. I won't laugh. You did when we were kids. It's all in the past. But I'll pass. I'll be happy just listening. I thought you'd say that. You enjoy it. As for singing, Torta can do that in my place. In your place? In place of that, I'll make food for you, so play. Okay, I will. Without saying anything else, I sat down. With Ari watching me, I felt a kind of anxiety and was ready to perform. For a start, I'll play something off the top of my head. After all, we won't stop there, will we? Okay. It was a nostalgic song. The song that came to mind was a simple one. The first one Torta, Ari, and I had learned to play. Arietta was off key. Torta was keeping up, and I was desperately following the score. Hey, this is, we got this in the neutral bad ending. Okay. I let out a long sigh and stretched my shoulders. It was a little bit past 5 according to the clock. I'd taken many small breaks in between to get a drink or chat. Even so, I was starting to feel exhausted. During those breaks, Arietta had done small things for me, like getting my clothes. Guess it's about time. Whatever Ari was planning to make, I suppose she had to start preparation soon. That was great. Kind of tiring, though. We're not done yet, surely. There's no avoiding it, is there? Of course there is. But I trust you'll play for me. Sure, I intend it. When she said it like that with a smile, I couldn't say no. Torta would do it consciously, but in Ari's case, she truly believed it, which made it more underhanded. This is the last song. Sure. At that point, I didn't need the score. But somehow, I felt like having it there, so I took it from my bag. However, this store was full of annotations. It was kind of problematic. Ari would take one look at this and say, "Stay in sync," and recognize Tortoise right away. That's the song I was about to play. From the very first note, a wave of sound poured from the fortelli that moved me deeply. My fingers ran across the keyboard and I lost myself in its music. This was the first song I'd ever practiced so seriously. Everything else I'd played today had been simply drilled into muscle memory through endless repeated practice. But this song was different. The sounds have entered my subconscious and they were kind of released into the world to a magic. And there was feeling. The feeling that I was being watched. The two seemed linked by a single thread, and at the same time they seemed different from the very beginning. Separated, connected. The solid keys felt real and distinct to my fingertips, and yet somewhere they were out of focus. The vibrations of the fortelli's last note melted away. I felt a strange sense of accomplishment, as if the actual recital were over. I looked at Ari, seeking her response. How was it? You don't have to ask. You look pleased. I'm asking you what you thought of it. You know as well. That's true, but then again, you never say anything bad about me. That's because even if singing isn't your forte, you've heard a lot of music, haven't you? Sometimes I want to know how it compares with what you've heard. Even compared to everything I've heard, it was great. Thanks, Ari. You often say nice things about my music, but I don't think I've ever felt this happy. Silly boy. Sounding a little embarrassed, she stood up and looked at the kitchen. Alright, I'm going to start preparing dinner. What ingredients do we have? I stocked up at the end of last year, so you'll find what I need. Let me take a look. I bought enough vegetables for a week. The shops weren't open because of New Year's, but I cooked for myself. After surveying the fridge, she came back to the room. We've got meat and eggplant, so I guess I'll make the parmigiana. It's a special recipe from Grandma. That sounds great, but recently I've been eating lots of foods prepared by her, so my standards might be high. That's fine. Cooking is my forte. I'm counting on it. Could I help with anything? No, just sit and wait. You could always practice if you have nothing else to do. I am kind of tired. Okay then, you practice, I cook. She spoke with great confidence, saying that this was her field of expertise. She rolled up her sleeves and walked happily in the kitchen. It seemed Forney had no intention of reappearing. I really had nothing else to do, so I started playing the song for my graduation recital. A pleasing aroma had already filled the room. But I didn't turn around and I kept playing. The song was almost over. I decided to play it through the end. Alright. I'm going to actually end it here tonight. My throat is starting to hurt again. I'm going to go take some medicine and get us sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm just glad we at least got like an hour done today. And I'm going to fix all the mic settings and all that good stuff. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Crisis Core, Symphonic Rain. Thank you again for joining, and have a nice night.